Hi all, some of you that have built a Paradise Bee box before will, by looking at this, know that I've done something wrong. What I've done is I've glued up the box before putting the sides on, or putting the plastic top and bottom rails on. And this is a bad mistake, because when we have a look at the profiles, they have little edges, little lips, front and back, that grip into these little channels that are set into the box here, and the same on the inside as well. Now, I worked fairly hard to try and fix that, to try and squeeze them on. I don't think it can be done, certainly not without risking breaking something. So, this is not the way to build the box. Definitely do it per the instructions. But if you find yourself in this same sad situation that I have, all is not lost. I have worked out a way to get around it. It's a little bit of work, but it's better than throwing away the bee box. Alright. Like I was saying, the big problems about trying to get these on a box that's already been glued up is that edge, and the other part, that edge and that edge. If we can remove those, we can be on a winner. Now, a router table would make this really simple. I've got a following router bit here, and like I said, I wish I had a router table, but I don't. So what I've done is I've put my drill press on the highest speed, I've inserted this in the chuck, and what it allows us to do is to carefully take off that inner edge and have it really nice and flush with the rest of the plastic there. And look, it's a little bit of work, but it has proved to be quite good for me. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I remove these. I've got my bit in here, like I said, the follower bit, and I'm going to start feeding this through. Can't do a close-up today, I'm afraid, my apologies, but it will work. Going to stop halfway there. If you can sort of have a look in here, you can see that this part of the edge profile has been removed, and it might be a bit hard to see, but it is nice and flush with the rest of the profile, and this is still remaining. Okay, so as you can see here, the lips have now been removed, and that will allow us to simply slide it on top of the box. Before I show you that, I'll just have a few notes about this. Drill presses are not really the right way to use a router bit. They spin far too slow. So adjust your feed rate. Be careful, it is spinning knives. So gloves, eye protection, a nice steady slow feed rate, and it can be done. Just remember though, it will take your fingers off if you let it. So if you are going to have to hack around this like I did, do it as safely as you can. So I found that it does actually route fairly well, even at say a bit under 3,000 RPM, which is way too slow. It's one of the problems with the drill press, but it does do okay. I haven't cracked any yet. Just go really nice and slow at the front and the rear edges. Give it some good support. Don't force it through. I find it does tend to chip, but again, I haven't done any major damage, so it does work. Remember to always keep a really good distance between your fingers and the bit that can cut them off. Okay, so now that we've got that profile modified, we can simply get it in there, a little bit hard working one-handed here, and it will just sit over the top like that. It's really nice and tight fit, it just doesn't lock into the grooves. But nonetheless, to make sure that that's okay, what I've been doing on these is I've been putting a few dots of nice thick super glue, you know, maybe 3 or 4 along here and on the inside edge. Make sure you get a bit of a blob near the edges, and that should see an absolute permanent solution. And so here we are, the box has been repaired. look, it works. It worked for me, it'll probably work for you. But more importantly, this is, I guess, something that I wish I'd never had to do. I always tell my kids that step 1 of any project is to read the instructions, and step 2 is to reread the instructions. If only I'd take my own advice. But nonetheless, if you find yourself in this position, there is a way out. All the best.